Hello YouTube family, I am back with another video for you guys today, and I've made a couple discoveries lately. Number one, I just finished my coffee, but have you ever tried to put eggnog in your coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, it is the ho-ho holidays now. In the making of this video, I put a little bit in my coffee last night, and to sum it up, it's basically like putting cream and sugar in it at once. Instead of doing them separately, I just bought a new thing of milk, but I don't have the sugar, and I saw eggnog on the shelf at Aldi's, and picked it up. I currently have some eggnog here right now, but if you mix this in with some coffee, it's like you're putting cream and sugar in it at once, and it actually tastes pretty damn good. That's just a nog. And I've wanted to do something like this for a little bit now. I haven't really gotten behind into making this video, but I think it's about high time because I've had this controller for months now. I really like it. It's one of the more better looking controllers in my collection, but one of the buttons does need a good cleaning. So today, I want to, on camera, show you the basics of refurbishing a Sega Genesis Model 1 controller. Now, on the outside, again, when I say basic, it's a pretty loose term. Overall, the outside condition looks very decent. Oh, and also, good time to do this because I am planning on cleaning the apartment today. So what better way to kick it off than after having this for months and playing with it for a little while, enjoying some games like Miss Pac-Man and Forgotten Worlds, some classic Sega Genesis games today. I do want to play Forgotten Worlds after we get this thing all set back together. It's primarily the A button that needs a little touch-up because sometimes I feel like it's a little unresponsive. So that's what we're going to do. So today is going to be about cleaning the contacts, cleaning the inside of this controller, and just getting the inside in top shape, so it can continue to have, it can function better than when I first bought this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce to you a good friend of mine that I've had for a while that has helped me with this kind of stuff. Successful or not, we'll see if this is a successful fix today. It really should be because the thing works, the wire's fine. But meet the iFixit Basic Screwdriver Kit. It has a magnetic lid, and this is what we're going to use to pop off the shell of the controller. So take it off, easy as pie. And this is just the basic set that's like between $10 and $20. So you get these bit heads here, or these screwdriver heads for NES games or games that have the star-shaped screws for cartridges, and the Phillips screw heads and the flathead screw heads for when you gotta remove rubber feet. And of course the screwdriver itself, which has the magnetic attachment and the little twisty knob at top, so you can take things off with ease. So you're going to want one of those unless you have screwdrivers that are compatible, and a little metal dish to hold your screw heads, your nails. So studying the insides of this controller, I don't know how well you can see, but it looks like these have Phillip heads, like the four-sided screw heads, the basic Phillips. So we're going to want to use the right head for the job, Please don't take that out of context. So you're going to want a relatively medium-sized magnetic screw for this. So a quick tip is to take this and put it inside the controller and see how well it snaps. So if it has a good hold, then it just might be the right one to use. So we're going to take these two and we're going to put them together like that. No additional attachments needed. It just screws in just like that and you can take it right off. I love these iFixit kits, and as a matter of fact, mine even came with a sticker and I put it on my hard hat. And I say it's not a bad look. If you walk into work with one of these, I'll tip my hat to you. This is how you know you're a professional. So yeah, that's a pretty huge bonus. Okay, so you're going to want to start unscrewing all the screws at the bottom of the controller. And I'm going to cut here. And doing it is pretty easy. So all 6 screws are on the metal plate, and this is why I recommend using one of these. Because since they're made of metal, this is a magnetic plate that will hold your screws into place. And my God, these are a lot dirtier than I thought. So I'm actually going to give these a cleaning as well. So that'll be one of the key points. Now, since all the screws are detached, just be careful, the buttons are going to want to fall out. So you're going to want to pop the controller head like that. Oh, see what I mean? Make sure you keep everything organized and you know where it is, because you're not going to want to lose a thing. Actually looking at this right now, first of all, this thing looks like a damn batarang, which is cool. Secondly, this part actually doesn't look too bad, so we might not even have to worry about that. So I'm just going to kind of show you as I go. So this is the motherboard for the controller. This is basically the controller itself. And just make sure you're careful with these wires. Don't bend, don't tear. Just keep it so everything's intact. And that's what we're going to want to clean. So these rubber pieces, like for the D-pad here, it's going to go on top like this. Somehow like this. This is what the actual buttons themselves will push on to get your directional movements. Likewise with the buttons, the ones for the buttons as well. So yeah, as you can see, yikes, these you see these gray pieces right here, like these gray dots. These look to be in rough shape, so we're definitely going to give those a wipe down. We're going to give, these are the contacts, we're going to give all this a wipe down. Like the ghosting of the, if that's what you like to call it. This is for the D-pad. 3 for the buttons. Kind of hard to point with mirror mode. And there's 1 for the start button. That's what we're going to give a touch-up. So, just going to set that down. Right side up. Alright. And if you're satisfied with how your buttons look, still, then you can put them back into the controller head. And then the rubber pieces, like I said, I'm going to clean my apartment today, so I'm definitely going to give this table a wipe down regardless. And then your rubber pieces. So set those to the side. Bottom of the controller still doesn't look too bad, it's just a little dusty. So if you want to give this one a wipe down, go for it. And I'm going to show you what to wipe it down with. So the most basic method to wipe down contacts and dirty parts of any kind of electronic is with this 91% isopropyl alcohol. And to be honest, I know people love using other cleaning solutions. I trust this more than anything else because it has the least amount of moisture accumulated in here. Anything below this is going to have more moisture, and it'll likely corrode your electronics over time. This will not. This has less moisture and does an excellent job cleaning circuit boards. So you're going to want that and a Q-tip or two. You can use both ends. And I even have some other really cheap cotton material if you want to get a little more down dirty. One of them's already used up, but there's also like cotton balls and cotton pads. I think anything microfiber should be fine. So, since we're working on the A button primarily, I'm just going to show you how to do that real quick, and I'm just going to cut and clean the rest. So if you're running a little low, just kind of dip it, tilt the bottle, not too much. Get your cotton swab or Q-tip nice and wet. I like to press around the rim just so it's not too wet. Like to feel it with my palm of my hand. And that feels plenty wet. So I'm going to hold this upside down. The A button's right here, so just make sure you do this gently. Oh boy. Yep. So I know I didn't really show you how this worked initially, but now you can see my point. All this is likely what's keeping the A button from functioning properly. So I'm going to cut the video here and clean all these contacts, and I'll give... Alright, so actually, before I show you how to put this back together, so far so good on the cleaning. I managed to... I think this is already looking a little bit better than how it did initially. You can pause the video and rewind and see for yourself. But I figured a quick pro tip. So I'm using one of these right now. It's dirty, but that's because I'm currently in use of it. So to clean the bottom shell of this controller, yeah, this is... I think this is also really good if you want to get like entire boards or the entire shell. I would definitely also recommend like getting deep within the crevices, like just going along the sides, because those get dirty too. And just make sure you get the overall shell. And basically do the same thing with the circuit board, but primarily focus on the surface of it. So, like the board itself, basically. So, like I said, process is going good. So, almost there. Motherboard looks to be clean now, just about. And well, I the same side I also cleaned with to the point where dirt specks weren't really showing. I can't really show that Q-tip now because I also used it to clean the inside of these, which were also relatively dirty. You're also going to see, like, just getting the inside of these is also a good idea because these might also prevent the buttons from working properly. So if you clean both, that might just be your best bet. And I'm currently waiting for these to... I actually unscrewed the cap of the IPA bottle, and I'm giving these screws a little IPA bath to remove some excess dirt, just so they're in at least slightly better condition than they were before. So, alright, it's past 5 minutes now. I'm gonna... Ooh, it's dripping. Okay. I'm gonna probably take these out, because they are still a little rusty. Ideally, if you have new mini screw heads, which I don't at the moment, then that would be a better option for sure. So after laying the screws back on here, still not fully 100% clean like I just said. If you can find yourself some replacement screws in this case, do so. Otherwise, if they still work, good enough, but I just laid them down on this, and yeah. By the way, sorry if some of this grosses you out. This is basically for educational purposes and for entertainment if you want. But man, I think the screw heads are definitely, yeah, these are just by nature a little rusty right now. We'll probably need to find some replacements in the future. But with that being said, I think it's just about good to put it back together. Now, did I want to... Oh, sorry guys, give me 2 more seconds to... Because the screws were in here, just give me 2 more seconds to put a Q-tip in these holes and wipe it around. So, what I mean by that is... Like, yeah, you're definitely going to want a Q-tip for this part. If your screws are dirty, you may as well get in between there and just kind of waddle it around like that. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. That actually really doesn't look too bad. Maybe this one. Some screws are a little more rusty than others. I know I had to replace one on my GBA once upon a time when I modded it because it was on my battery cover. Yeah, like see this one? Yeah, it's a little closer. Alright, after giving that a little wipe down, so the reassembly process shouldn't be that difficult. An easy way to do it is to make sure your buttons are back in place. So, D-pad is pretty locked in, so I'm not going to mess around with that. But for example, like if we take this out, your C button, which is a prime feature of the Sega Genesis controller, it's like a puzzle piece. You're going to want to place it correctly according to the pegs. Now there's a larger one here and a couple smaller ones here. Just make sure you place it like so. Apologies for my hands in the way. It really is kind of tricky to film this the way I'm doing it, but if you can see my point, then there you go. Now, the rubber feet are the tricky part, but my recommendation right off the bat would be to just place them on top like that. They're going to go in regardless, so instead of like placing it on the motherboard and trying to balance it, like I tried to do on a Sega Game Gear once upon a time, and that made it hell to put it back together, you're probably going to want to do it like this. So see how they're... Just kind of work backwards. Now, with the directional pad one, there are 2 pegs here and here, and there's 2 holes on opposite ends, so you're going to want to fit them in like that. And now oh, silly me, almost forgot the most important part, of course, because I don't just do this stuff for decoration. Now you're going to want to place it based on how the wire's coming out. So you're going to put it like that. That side up, you're going to sandwich it all together. Now, I'm going to kind of do this off camera just so I know what I'm doing. And these, and these also have, goody. These also have pegs. But, so see how I placed them in with the peg side up? And the wire is, yikes. The wire is a little offset from the controller, unless I can fit it in like that. Oh, there we go. It just snaps in like that. I've taken my TurboGrafx 16 apart twice, one recently to kind of clean the power switch, which I could probably show you how to do in a future video, to get it to stop getting stuck. And if you want to feel around underneath, just... it's trying to get loose. Oh no! There we go. Just kind of feel on the bottom, make sure buttons feel right. Ooh. I don't know if the... Oh. Yeah, see, this is why you gotta be careful with... It's probably fine, but if you can see this white streak on the bottom of the circuit board here, like, these things can be prone to scratching, so just be careful. And the bottom one goes on just like this. Let's see if I can... I said just like this. Having some trouble putting this together. Will this be able to be snapped back on, or... Yikes, how do I do this? Alright. Alright, so this little angled... There's a little angled piece in here where the rubber part from the wire snaps in. You might want to twist this around a little bit to get it flush with the bottom piece of the Sega controller. I'm holding this top piece down right now, so I'm still working on it. Yikes, but this part might be a little tricky. Just don't rush, be patient. I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, I think I figured it out. So, putting it back together, it should close like this. After studying the screws more closely, I think there was a wire that was in the way. So, like, see how this one peg right here and the orange wire were very close together. So, like, I had to kind of move a couple wires around, and the square, the angled part, is flush on top from this round rubber piece. And then if we put it back on, I think it should snap. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Now we're going to rescrew this back on. And I'm going to keep it as flush as I possibly can. Now all the screws are the same size, so you don't have to worry about which one you're putting where. So... So if you took them off successfully, putting it back on should be a breeze. And make sure you don't do it too tight. Just try to give it a couple little reassuring, like, notches shut. But don't strip your screws, otherwise that's going to lead to problems down the future. I would probably start with the bottom and top one. Yeah, just be careful of wires in general, and just make sure you feel around, make sure your controller's still intact, make sure the buttons feel right. If something doesn't feel right, oh, see, like oh, did I forget a rubber piece? I don't feel something in that start button. Where did it go? Hold up. Ah, yep. There we go. I forgot to put that in with the start button on top. That's my bad, guys. Now we can close this back up and screw it back in. Make sure you catch your mistakes early if you make any, so you don't regret it later. A coworker once told me it's easier to do it the right time, or at the first time, than to go and fix your fuck-ups later. Not that we don't make mistakes, just saying. Okie dokie, the controller is all put back together. Everything feels nice, everything's screwed in. This part right here looks to be spot on. I don't think anything broke off in the process. Didn't sound like it, didn't look like it. Went pretty smoothly. Controller shell is still in pretty good shape. I have my Sega Genesis Model 2 hooked up over there. Now comes the big moment of truth. We're going to test this thing out. So this is what we are left with after a relatively quick cleaning. Let's head on over to the gaming station of the apartment. Here's the Sega. Here's the controller wire. May as well could have just hooked this in off camera. Like that. And we're going to play a nice little game of Forgotten Worlds, which is an excellent Capcom shooter that doesn't work with a 6-button controller. Let's try it in 3-button. Now I'm going to do the best I can to play in one-handed mode. Really good soundtrack, by the way. Well, relatively more on the arcade and TurboGrafx, but as far as the game itself, it's not bad. Fun fact, it'll instantly boot you to game over if you don't switch your 6-button controller to 3 mode. So, how did this little Oh! Well, I put my finger on the start button and it immediately worked. That's good. I'm going to show you as I go. I'm going to suck ass one-handed because this is... I mean, honestly, it was really hard at first, but I've gotten used to it. I've made it to the second world, so... A button here. Whee, there we go. B button. Very nice. Whee, there we go again. Hey. C button. Reverse. Pause. D-pad. Up. Down. Right. Oh! Ah, I didn't even get to go left. So far, so good. It definitely feels more responsive. You know what? I'm going to test another game with this. Hold on. Nothing says testing buttons out like another really good well, we just played a horizontal shooter that also goes vertically, but a strictly vertical shooter here is Twin Cobra. Which also works, thankfully. Cleaning cartridges is a much easier process. This is the next step up, and if we're talking about consoles, you better know what you're doing. So... let's see, I hope A's not bomb. Oh, and look at that, we get a kick-ass soundtrack as well. See, let's get that helicopter up here and let's bust out the A button. Oh! Let's just cheese it. Alright, I'm gonna reset this. We're gonna go to options, configuration. Hold on. Alright, rapid fire. Alright, A set to shot now. There we go. Now we should have no difficulties playing this. And as you can see, no delay in the fire. It's consistently shooting. It was not really doing that before. I really had to press down on this thing to get it to work. And now it looks like it's working smoothly. It just needed a little cleaning. I'm gonna tap it as... Alright, well, not too lightly, but enough to get a response, that's for sure. I know, I suck ass right now. I don't have my finger on the D button. Or the directional pad, I should say. Here's B. B's good. C. There's the bomb. Let's do that again. Good. Ah, we died. And there you have it, a refurbished Sega Genesis 3-button controller. If anything in this video that I talked about wasn't necessarily clear, which some of it probably wasn't, and that's my apologies, please let me know in the comments. Did this video help you out? Tell me what you guys think, please. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.